Today, we want to thank everyone for following, liking, sharing. YouTube, Facebook, IG. We're going to really get on more streaming. We're definitely building this podcast. We thank you for the consistent followers. I know nobody didn't see an announcement this week, but we had a great topic this week. It's called Role Reversals of Kids and Parents. It's why when parents take care of the child when they're young, but when parents is older and get to the point to get sick, the kids want to tend to put them away. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Got a few eyebrows might raise. We always try to hit the mindset and the heart on every podcast we do, no matter what it's about. It's about sports, it's about life, it's about cars, about whatever. We want to make sure we hit the mind and the heart. So before I introduce the cast, I want to still again thank everyone for liking, sharing. And go to YouTube, make sure you subscribe. You can share with some stars, you give us some stars, whatever. Like I said, we just want to get this podcast to everyone across the country. And, so we're going to start today. We're going to start with Coach. Well, we're going to introduce the podcast, I'm sorry. We got the Empress, Miss Solange.
Hey, everybody.
Of course, everybody's fan favorite director, Mr. Vaughn, a.k.a. Hammer. And we got my daughter today, my oldest for the firstborn, the first seed. She know what I call her. But my daughter, Jasmine Keon. So we're going to really get some stuff done today. And as always, we're going to jump on with the Empress today and see what she has to say about this topic. And so what do you think about that, Sloan?
Well, I don't know a lot of families who have done that. From my experience, most black families take care of their loved ones at home. The couple of people that I know that scenario did happen, it was a situation to where they could no longer take care of their loved ones when they initially did start taking care of them at home, right? From my experience, most of us keep our loved ones at home. At least we try to. There are certain situations especially if we don't have nurses within the family, or no one is medically inclined to be able to deal with their elderly loved one, and usually that's the last case scenario to where they do send them to a home to be taken care of. But at that point, I think it's for the best for the patient, right? The best for your elderly loved one, because you can't medically take care of them. Those are the only instances of that I know of.
Is it a point of they don't want to take care, or they don't have the patience to take care?
No, the instances that I experience is because they can't take care of them. Like medically, they can't. I don't know of anyone who put their elderly loved one in a home just because they didn't want to take care of them. I personally don't. I said I personally don't.
All right, Ham, what you got?
I'm kind of rocking with Solange on this one. And it's sad to say, especially in this day and economy right now, there's no way you can generalize, you know what I'm saying, how your parents are being treated or something like this in this essence. Most of us still have day-to-day jobs in this day, so you know what I'm saying, if your parent or something needs 24-hour care and you have to go to work, and you know what I'm saying, even in this day and age home, you got to have a 2-income household just to get by.
Right.
You understand me? So for someone to have to quit their job or take less hours or something like that, it's unwarranted and something like that, but you still have to have the care, be able to take care of you know what I'm saying, your mom or your dad or grandmama who will raise you. So in a lot of instances, you know what I'm saying, it's just financially stabler if I can't put you in a home. But I got somebody looking at you 24 hours a day. I got someone who can report back to me what exactly is going on with you at this time, and at the same time still maintain my household in a direction of where my kids and my wife or husband can still thrive together. So I wouldn't say, you know what I'm saying, it's turning the back on in the aspect of it's just a necessity that, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of us don't have the affordability to do so. Because you'll keep them around as long as you can, you know what I'm saying, as long as they can do most, some of the stuff they can do on their own. But when all that dies down and they need more day-to-day care and, you know what I'm saying, more stuff where, hey, I gotta help you get to the restroom, I gotta help you do this, I gotta help you do that, and you know what I'm saying, that's more 24 hour. Well, at this point right here, sadness to say, 90% of America is day-to-day workers. You know what I'm saying? It's, and they don't have, you know what I'm saying, the liquidation of money to be able to do so.
Right.
Okay, I'm feeling some of that. Go ahead. I'm gonna see what Jackson. I got something to say. Go ahead. Baby. I mean, who's child? See what I said?
So give me your question again, so I can say it right.
So you're my oldest child.
Lord have
That's
mercy.
what I said. For one, don't be nervous.
I'm not.
Your food is just a shaking. Listen,
Oh,
what I said was, the whole topic is, when the parents take care of the child, do everything. Why when they get older, the role reversal, that the kids tend to walk away.
It could be a numerous amount of things. Some people don't do it just for the simple fact of the dynamic of the relationship that they had growing up. Some parents weren't there. Then all of a sudden now they sick and they done got older and they want them to take care of them, but they haven't even given their parent that forgiveness to do it. So they don't want to do it. Then it's still the job issue where some people are living day to day, they just can't do it. Then it could still be another instance where like your parents may be here in Mobile, but then all my kids moved to Georgia, all my kids moved to Texas. Like different scenarios. It can be a numerous amount of things. Some people aren't medically inclined. Like some people, the sight of poop or the smell of pee make them sick. They can't tolerate it. Some people don't have the strength. Somebody might have a parent that's
Pause
like,
right there real quick. You just said that, but what about the parents that do it for you when you're born?
that's the
They walk
difference.
away.
That is a difference. You would think that morally you would have the mindset to be like, this is my parent, no matter what I went through, they was there, I need to do the same. Morally, biblically, we're supposed to, but like I said, everybody don't have it. And like I said, that's why I was saying sometimes it comes from the dynamic of the parent that they had with the parent growing up. Some people just weren't close. So just because you sick don't mean that because you sick I'm gonna be close to you. And then some people had good dynamics. Some people, they can do it, but the day to day, they live in day to day, so they can't do it. Like they can't sit up, you need 24-hour care, I have to go work a 12-hour shift, I'm losing sleep to do this. You know, that could put their job and stuff at risk. So it kind of make it tough. You need help. Like I said, like you still having families where the parents are here and you got the children that stay out of town. They can't just come from out of town and come do it. So
Could they put in money to help out?
they could.
I mean, they can,
but
but see,
then-
that's the whole aspect of the situation. And we're looking at, you know what I'm saying, you're saying from a parent point of view and from a child's point of view.
Right.
There's two different, you know what I'm saying, aspects of it. Now, you know what I'm saying, let's kick it off in one thing to be one. As a parent, you love your kid unconditionally, and as a child, you love your parents unconditionally. But then when you switch the roles, I was a baby when you were changing my diaper. Now the person that I looked up to or revered throughout their whole life, now I got to sit up there and try to change theirs, and or see them in a light that's other than that. That's kind of hard for anybody. And there's a lot of strong people out here in the world. A lot, especially the majority of them, is women. I'm gonna be honest with you. I done been to come back. I done seen some of my partners bust wide open. But I promise you, I wouldn't be able to change my mama diaper. You understand me? And that's just being real 100. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want to see that in that light anyway. There's certain parts of your parents you don't want to see or you can't see. You can't stomach. Not that you're a weak person or that you can't see, because you did it with your babies when they were there. You had to change the diaper because you look, man, that's your baby. That came from you. That's yours. You know what I'm saying? There's no ill will that you can see fit. And from day one, from birth, hey, vulnerability on your part of view. There was no ego, there was no what's called as this, but when you cross that line of saying, okay, now it's mom and dad, when she was a baby, you had to change her diaper. You had to make sure she was all right. Make sure you blow her nose. Make sure you clean right and all this stuff like this. Now, as a grown man, and she would have to do it, I'm pretty sure she would do it if she had to.
Right.
But at the same time, that is a big toll on any grown person's, not only yours, but hers out too. Because guess what? You feeling uncomfortable now that your kid had to see you butt naked or you had to do something like that. You uncomfortable, and it's also going to be uncomfortable for her. And for a constant situation doing that, like I said, a household. The household dynamic is primary, you know what I'm saying, one of the main reasons why you have to put your, you know what I'm saying, one of your loved ones in the household. Now, if you were more set to where, you know what I'm saying, your other half, whether it be your wife or your husband, can physically take on, you know what I'm saying, the day-to-day works of your household as far as bills and all that stuff like that, and your daughter or your wife, I mean your wife or your husband can sit at home and take care of that, that's monetary. But that's it. Guess what? That's only one problem out the way.
Right.
Because now you got to also look back. Now the dynamic of your household has completely changed. Because now I'm not just taking care of my household. I got to take care of my mom and my dad also. Now your other half has to be got doggone fully submissive to what I'm taking on more of the stuff at the house. I'm taking care of everything here. You got to take care of her. But now that person is feeling left out. Like, man, I'm not looking to take care of her. Now I know she's been with her mama or her dad all day. But still, I come home and I ain't got shit to eat. Or she tired and she has the right to be tired. But at the same time, I had a right to God doggone expect certain things too. Now that I'm taking on the whole situation.
And then also you have to factor in, you know, when you're comparing geriatric to pediatric care. So I didn't, but the care that comes along with caring for a child, we're talking about a healthy child, a child that is not, you know, not sick or have any issues, just day-to-day basic care for them, versus a geriatric elderly parent who is, if you're taking care of them 9 out of 10 times, they are sick. They do have some health issues going on. So you can't really even compare it in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Now me, to piggyback off of what Crystal said, my sister, she's on here, piggyback off of what she said as well. We have not, any of our great grandparents, we kept them at home and we cared for them. No one has gone to a facility for somebody else to take care of them. We did that at home, all of us collectively, you know. But it's just so many different dynamics, and like she just said, we take care of our mama, you know. She's not going to a facility either, but like y'all said, you have to be on the same page with your family member, your siblings as well, when this comes into play as to the care of your parents, you know.
Okay, well, I have to say my part. You know, I agree with y'all, and I disagree on some of it. But my thing, because I know I took care of my parents. My daughter is the main factor in that as well. My dad, when he had strokes and he couldn't walk anymore, you know, it started weighing on his mindset. But the thing was, the first day I went and got him off the floor, and I cleaned him up. And he said, "You didn't scared to touch me?" I said, "My dad." He cried for almost 30 minutes. But I knew then and there, they took care of me as a youngster. I had to do it in return. My mindset was never to put him in the facility. So when he finally had to be rushed to Thomas Hospital, they wanted to put him in Mercy Medical to get him back to walking. She was getting healthier than me. But the lady that was treating so bad, I had to sneak in on her and catch her. I mean, this is the only, you know, and I have to say it, I hope over there, Mercy Medical here, she's the only black lady on the 3rd floor. I think it was 3rd floor. I remember. And I walked in on her, and I had to run her out of there. And the director, Miss Linda, came in, and I told her what happened. And my dad, he grabbed my hand and said, "Look, whatever you do, don't let me die here. So let me die in the house I built. Right there now, I got him. They said, well, you came about 6 more weeks. I said, now you got to go down. Because that's my dad asked me for a request. So I put him home, then I started looking up in-home nurses. Whew, had a bunch of bad and some of those. But, you know, the thing was, they were in there, plus my daughter's rotating out as well. And she played a big factor. But the thing was that, you know, I had them to keep an eye on him. But mom was still kind of in and out because she was at the point of, you know, she couldn't do too much as well. I think it was frustrating her. She was getting upset, but nursing home wasn't the key. I've talked to several people, and that's really why the subject's kind of tender. I know several people say, well, man, it ain't hard for her to take care of him. I already picked him a home out already. She ain't give an effort to see, let me see what I can do. And I agree with y'all. Yeah, the dynamics of, you know, put a lot of weight on Crystal, you know, Crystal help as well. But the thing is, like I said, I think it starts from, you got to look at what they did when you were young. Just didn't get older. Yeah, I wouldn't change the mother. That's what I would do. My daughter did all that. I couldn't do that. You know, I agree with him on that. I just couldn't. That's my mom. I just couldn't see that.
And see that in itself is why your outlook on the situation is different, because you had that extra, you know what I'm saying, that where you fell short, your daughter stepped up and got down and fulfilled that. A lot of people don't have that.
Help does make a big difference.
You know what I'm saying?
A big difference. You have to have that support.
And I give you a couple instances. My boy Kennedy's, I know you out there watching. Him and his siblings are doing the same thing right now. With his mom, but she's still eligible enough to stay in her own home. So they had to literally flip flop. Him and his siblings, they literally had to take turns going over there with their mom and make sure she eats and all this stuff. But for the most part, she still gets around on her own within the household. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. So that's a blessing in itself. But it still takes him and his siblings. And then you got another, my Marine Corps brother, you know what I'm saying, Dexter Jenkins. We call him Diggum. You know what I'm saying? We call him Diggum. You know what I'm saying? We call him Diggum. You call him Dexter, he'll look at you like you just cussed him out. You know what I'm saying? But we call him Diggum, you know what I'm saying? You know, also a Marine Corps drill instructor that never leaves you. So but him and his siblings are doing the same thing with his mom and dad, but they're still at their household, and you know what I'm saying, but he goes back and forth, and when called upon, he get up and run. Actually, when called upon, we all get up and run if we're all there. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if we walk inside his mom and dad house right now, if all us Marines walking them up, the first thing his dad gonna say is, those are mine. All of those right there, mine. I don't care who around. You know what I'm saying? It can be other family members, whatever. They walk, who are these? And the first thing gonna say, all those mine. He gonna point at all of us, all those mine. Those are mine, and I don't care what nobody say. Those mine. But that's what I'm saying. It takes more, and a lot of people just don't have that. You know what I'm saying? That balancer or that helping hand to do a lot of this stuff. Now, no one's saying a home is a bad thing. I'm just saying a home should be the final thing. You shouldn't put your parents in there and that's the last thing you do. You don't come check on them. You don't come make sure, you know what I'm saying, hey, you got enough wash power, you got enough deodorant, you got enough this, you know what I'm saying, you gotta make sure you still check them, or you do leave a window open for some, because no matter where you go, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna abuse the system if they allowed to. But if they know this elderly person's family members is constantly checking, it would eliminate a lot of the doggone bullcrap that we'll have. Because like you say, you want to say, but you know, doing this time, somebody's coming here, and you know what I'm saying. And guess what? This one is not left here by themselves. You know what I'm saying? This one is not, you know what I'm saying, sat here and just say, yo, y'all take care of them. Let me continue living my life. If you go check on your doggone parents, or you know what I'm saying, the elderly person you got in them up, it eliminate a great deal, you know what I'm saying, of abuse that could happen to those who parents, who children just set them in there and walked away.
Right.
That's the point I was trying to get to, because, you know, like I said, when I caught that lady, my dad said she treated me bad. And I was like, I know you don't sneak up here. And I had to find out what shift she was in. And they said, oh, she went this time. And I walked in on her. I mean, she was giving me business. And when I walked in and started going off on her, she just took off running. I mean, I think she jumped straight out the window, because I don't know if she went in that elevator now. But, you know, I knew then and there, you know, hey, my dad said, hey, this lady treated me bad. And she was the only one treating. Not trying to throw race out there, she was on the black on the floor. So the thing is, when I brought him back home, my dad's neighbor, he brought from Marion back and they taught him how to do this, get all things construction. Was the main one kept calling HR on my dad. The one who he thought was his friend. And that's why I tried to tell that he's not your friend. Period. So, prime example, my dad had failed. I got the heat against Baltimore, come get your dad. My dad took care of him, brought him married up, helped him get a car, everything. Back in the 60s, 70s, something like that. So that lets you know everybody who say your friend ain't your friend. So I got my dad, I kicked him out first because he wanted to watch. I kicked him out first, then I got my dad in.
Right.
But I told him he had to never worry about that again.
Right.
So we tried to get him knee surgery, and that was the last thing before he died. I think the doctor killed his mindset. He told me, he said, well, he went to a friend of mine 2 years. What they got to do with anything? So he gave my dad his cortisone shot, but my daddy kind of knew he was going, because he said, if I just walk to the bathroom back, son, and watch him go to the kitchen, that's all I want. So when that doctor shot him down, and my daughter can tell you, prior time you go to the house, you spend up a feces in the house. Well, you go in there and clean them up, get them all cleaned up. You know, there wasn't no issue, because it was like a regular routine. But, you know, like I said, that was my dad. You know, 1-2 gunshot on him. But when he was leaving, and my dad was punctual. He said, you want to be at Charles at 4 in the morning, you hear a car about 3:30, he'd be tipping his cup at you. He was never late. He was so punctual late, he would leave you before he was late. I don't care if he was going to a wedding. He would leave you. He wasn't going to be late. So the thing is, he told me, you know, 3 times, I see you, son. I see you. At the third time, I said, Dad, not be back. I already had planned to take him mom to Disney. And I said, Dad, I see him going to the first Bible study at Eastgate Bible. That was there then. Men's Bible study. And after he passed away, Jazz was the first one on the scene as well. Well, I got a call you never want to get. I said, I'll never get that call. And me and my daughter's Kate was debating about something, and next thing you know, I got the phone call. So when I got the call, when you went to the house, before he got in the bed, he said, I put him in bed, put new underwear on. He said, son, put powder all over. I said, no, dump the whole body. He said, dump it. I said, I filled him up full of baby powder. He said, I'll make sure I sleep good tonight. He said, prop me up right. I said, okay. You know, turn my TV on, put my water right here. And after he told me 3 times he'd see me, he died for a day or more. When you got to the house, all he smelled was baby powder. Nothing on feces and all that. But he knew he was going. One thing you said to him, he said one thing. I said, Dad, you know, Darryl, tell him all, you know, my brother and sister come down. He said, nah, I never seen that. And I think all that killed his mind, that he knew he was talking. But the whole point is, I gave him his wish. He said, I want to die in my house, which he did. So he built that house in 1960, where he built that house. Cinder block house too. And he told me to take that house, we're going to keep that promise as well. But he was letting me know he was leaving, and he got what he wanted. And no matter how many times they call HR on him, whatever, I finally got one lady said, if they call him again, I'm going to arrest them people. I'm going to get them people next door to business. Never had no more issues. Because he was in the bed, they were calling for nothing. So the thing is, God let me do what got his wish. And I made sure that was granted. Now, like I said, I knew a young lady, and I knew a young man too. And he wanted to get some other stuff, build a house, all kind of stuff. I'm just throwing everything I go to exactly. You probably know what I'm talking about. And he was like, I'm just waiting for my girl. She be messing here. So we put in a home and everything. She died, lived 3 more years. So the thing was, they was out for the money, but everything he do and she do in her life is richer. It's tearing up. Because, like you said, they dropped him off the level. They never came and checked on him. They were worried about the money. instead of worrying about taking care of mama, checking on mama. Hit the phone call. Come see him. Come kiss me on the forehead or something.
Yeah, but a lot of people, and that's in any relationship, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that confront like they're there for one reason and therefore totally opposite. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be mindful, you know what I'm saying, of who you have in your surroundings. Be mindful who you know what I'm saying, let in your safe place, which is your home or your mindset. Correct. Or your body. You have to be mindful. I'll give you a story. Okay, it was this bird left a little late trying to fly south for the winter. Left late, tried to fly. Wings got froze up. Couldn't fly, fell through a hole in the bone. The doggone cat came by. You know what I'm saying? Well, this horse came by, pooped on the bird. Guess what? You know what I'm saying? Horse came by, pooped on the bird. Well, the poop started throwing out, you know what I'm saying, the ice on his wings. Mm-hmm. Well, once the poop started out his wings, cat came by, licked the crap off the bird, then ate him. And the moral of the story is, you know what I'm saying, the moral of the story is, everybody that shit on you ain't your enemy. And everybody that takes shit off you ain't your friend.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's just being real.
That's real. That's real talk, real.
Real.
You know.
Sound funny, but it's real.
And just, I have a story that I need to tell. I don't see my mom on here. And normally she joins us every Sunday.
She be happy she ain't around her.
So, but, and this story has something to do with her. Back in the day, when me, because for a long time it was just me and my sister that's under me. My baby sister wasn't born until I was like 14. So me and my sister Nidra, when we moved here from the Birmingham area, my mom was working at Allen Memorial downtown. It's a nursing home. Down the bay on Washington Avenue, right?
Mm-hmm. Washington Avenue, Virginia.
Going in there as a child, and that experience, it was traumatic to me. And my mom knows, because we've talked about this, since we've been grown. I made the decision then, as a child, that I would never, ever put any of my loved ones in a nursing home. The smell of it just, it was just a traumatic experience. And like I said, then as a child, I made that decision, and we've carried that on. We haven't put any of our loved ones in a home. We all care for them at home. I'm not trying to bash any facilities or anything like that. God bless them for wanting to be in that field and taking care of our elderly loved ones. God bless them for that. The ones who love it and love to do it. Okay. I have several people in my family who did work in nursing nursing home facilities for a long time, and they loved doing it. Okay, and they did a great job with it as well. So I'm taking my hat off to everyone who does that on a daily basis, right? But I'm just saying, I was traumatized by that. And facilities have grown, so much since then, that you don't see the same conditions that it used to be, right? But I just wanted to tell that story because it was traumatizing to me, and that was the decision that we made then, and we've lived up to that. But it's not to say someone who makes that decision with their loved one, it's not a right or wrong type thing, right? It's really situational, and it's really based on their family dynamics and what they see fit to do with their loved ones. But I'm just speaking on a personal level that, you know, that's not something that we want to do with our loved ones.
Okay. What you say?
I mean, you know my experience. I worked for SAS for almost 5 years, and it gave me my experience to be able to take care of the family because I was doing home health. So I got to see these different dynamics where the family was there, or the family wasn't there, and the different conditions that people could be in to where you'll be like, well, yeah, this was going to be too hard for them. Wasn't no way they could do this. Or this was easy. It's just they don't care. Like
Right.
you get to see it all when you're in that field.
Right.
But at the same time, you gotta have a heart for it because this is not for the weak.
Right.
Because you can sit up there and be like, yeah, they're my parents. I'm obligated to do it. But then the whole time you're doing it, you bitter, you angry, you mad. So the care feels more like force, and there's no love in it, and your loved one can feel that.
And just so I know that you have something to say, but I had a conversation with one of my employees, and she was just telling me her situation, the dynamics that she's really acquired since she's been with her fiance. They're actually getting ready to get married, I think, next month. And he came in with his mom, who is she's dealing with Alzheimer's right now. That's difficult for your child to deal with, any family member, and even, you know, someone taking on that who is decided, hey, we're going to get married, but they're taking on their responsibility as well. And we've just had countless conversations, and I just, you know, the stories that she tell me, I just be like, oh my God, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
I really just don't know if I could do that, and if I could handle that.
It's tough.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard, and it's like you said, she's, and like you said, you know, she's taking it on, and she's doing the best that she can. But at the end of the day, she's not a nurse. She's not a healthcare provider, but she's doing it on the simple fact that that's her soon-to-be husband's mother, and she's trying to do the best that she can. But the stories, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, and it's tough.
And you know the
it's
bad
hard.
thing about that, and you know, and it doesn't make that person in any way, shape, form, or fashion a bad person. But to take on that responsibility while you're already going into a different structure, a different part of your life, combining your life on a permanent level with somebody else, where there's always going to be strives and got doggone hardships and stuff that you got to deal with. To add that on to it, that is putting a major roadblock or a major stone in front of this relationship that not too many people that can doggone get past that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you know what I'm saying? So to see someone actually trying to do that right there, that's a testimony of the love that person has for you, but at the same time, it's a testimony of the strength.
Yes.
But no matter how you look about it, how you look, the strongest thing gets weak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything breaks down over time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things don't break, but they do bend.
Right.
You understand me? So it can start off admirable and honorable and all this stuff right here, but you know what I'm saying, things can weigh on you. And I tell everybody, health is wealth. You have to know your limitations and know when you got to take some time yourself and tell your other half, hey,
I can't do this.
Right now I got to walk. I got to walk away. I ain't walking away from us. I'm saying I got to step back from this because I'm losing myself and I'm losing who I choose to be for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And on a respectful level, if that person actually care or not as doggone closed-minded as they think they are, they'll understand it. Like, yo, I'm not walking away from this. I'm not walking away from us. Hell, I'm not even walking away from your mother or your father. The only thing I'm saying is, all this is becoming to be a bit too much. You understand me? So, health is wealth, and you got to be willing. And, you know what I'm saying? But if you go that route and y'all literally sit down and talk to each other, you have a 20% more chance that y'all to make it, other than holding it in, trying to be strong for somebody, and you're falling apart on the inside. And if you let yourself fall too far, to where you're too broken to where it can't fix it. Now guess what? Now your relationship can't be fixed. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of stuff. Like I to my sister, biologically, Davina Nelson, that woman right there was a stride. She's a strider. My aunt Trisha, she is here from Texas also. We just had a little family reunion yesterday, so I give those two praise because when Grandmama and my dear passed, both of them had a hand in making sure everything going on. Now at that point in time in my life, I had stuff going on that I didn't understand. You understand me? Because it was something dealing with why you always mad, or why you always on the defensive, or why you always looking around for this and that. But now I know what I was dealing with was PTSD, which comes with that. Most of the time it's depression. Because while you dealing with that and you don't know why, and you don't know why you angry, you don't know why you so discontent when you're around family members or other people right here, or why I never sit with my back towards a door, or why I'm always scanning the room and I'm always right here. You don't tell nobody that, so now your family looking at you as you always mean, or he never seen that, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's wrong with me, so how can I tell you what's wrong with me?
Right.
So now, that's why I can truly say to my sister and my Aunt Trisha, you know what I'm saying, I like to say thank y'all on both accounts. Because, you know what I'm saying, while I never knew what was going on with me at the time, both of y'all had the, you know what I'm saying, the intestinal fortitude to go down, go forward and make sure Mama and my dear was all right. You know what I'm saying? While y'all knew anything within my power, I was going to be there to protect. You know what I'm saying? I'm a protector. You know what I'm saying? I'm a listener. But there's certain stuff I can't deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like even at funerals, at my mama funeral, at my grandmama funeral, at my great grandmama funeral, they know one thing I can't do. I'm not sitting up there with the family. Because I know at this point in time, y'all have to go through the grievance at y'all level. Whether it's crying, shouting over mama or whatever, you have to go through that on your time. But that doesn't sit right with me and the stuff I got going on. So when you going through all that, my PTSD kicking in overdrive because I got all these people that I care right around me freaking out. And there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? So I can either stay in the midst of it and flip out, or you know what I do? I go to the back of the church, and that's where I sit at, where I can still be observant, but I'm not in the midst of it. So, you know what I'm saying, on the aspects, a lot of stuff, a lot of times it's not because somebody can't do it or don't want to do it or don't have the financial. Some people just mentally can't afford to live with no more space in there. They fighting enough as it is.
Well, you know, what I got to say also, I agree with all that. You know, all thing, I just hate the ones that just don't even try.
Yeah, the ones
that just don't care. You know, I ain't finna do all that. You worry about your party life. You don't worry about your parents' life. That's the only ones I don't like. You know, I understand the ones who, you know, someone's single, you know, they trying to work 2 or 3 jobs, got 3 kids, and still trying to take care of mama, trying whatever. You know, but, you know, they got in-house nurses and all like shit. My daughter said SANS. If you can make that happen. You know, I knew I couldn't put my daddy on. So the thing is, but I get the only ones I just dislike, the ones who just, it's just, I ain't gonna do that. That's too much for me. I mean, I gotta do this, but you're not even trying. You ain't trying to come with a solution. You just ready to go ahead and put them away. You know, and I knew a young lady, you know, and I don't call names out of here unless I have to. You know, I ain't scared to. But I try to keep it as discreet as possible because you don't want nobody to come in the store and be having a fit. So the thing is, you know, her mother lived like around the corner. And as soon as her mother did something, she going to a home today. And I'd be doggone the following week. I said, hey, she in home. I said, God, hey, look, I'm not doing it.
Well, you know, is it good? Is it right or wrong? Is the question. You know what I'm saying? And every person knows their own limitations, and what they can deal with and what they cannot deal with. Who are we to judge the person that says, I'm not going to deal with it, I can't deal with it, they're going to a home. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's more cultural than anything, because the African American culture is we're keeping our parents at home. The majority of us, and we know that. But you know, you just we look at it because we's like, I'm keeping my mom at home. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah, we're saying it, but every person's situations, dynamics are different, and we can't judge either way whether they want to do it or not, right? Because they're not obligated. If you want to be honest, and we just being honest about it.
There's no obligation to that.
They're not obligated.
And guess what? A lot of times, if you try to do that, and you if you cannot give your doggone parent the proper care that they need,
you're doing them a disservice.
You're doing them a great disservice if you choose to keep them in a household to where they can't get the proper care and all this stuff right here. So, in that aspect right here, it's not all.
We can't. If we're gonna pay for them a nurse, why can't we pay for them a nurse to come to the house?
Who's to say your house is up to par?
I'm just saying.
Who's to say all that right there? You know what I'm saying? Even I'm saying, yeah, but we can't constantly look at it from a perfect point of view.
Right.
You understand me? Think about it. We go through it every day. When you at work and they try to say this and this and this and this and this, but they looking at it from a perfect point of view. They're not looking at it from these doggone drivers that can't drive, that can't speak English, that this unperfect male, all this stuff right here. If we're constantly looking at stuff from a perfect point of view and put it in a perfect category, it's going to always be either this or that. When there are so many different avenues that we can look upon stuff from, that can give you a better understanding but we got to be non-judgmental towards different spectrums of the situation.
You definitely got to base it off your situation during that time.
You got to look at it because this and that. Okay, there's a lot of people that say your parents, they were rich, but they did good by themselves and their insurance policies and their retirement pays. They did all this stuff right here. Okay, now on that aspect, it'd be a lot easier to get home care for them because guess what? Their insurance or retirement pay can pay for that.
Yes, yeah.
But if you had a parent that was not living check to check, week to week, day to day, minute to minute,
then have burial insurance,
then have none of that stuff right here. Now that puts everything
at risk.
Because now guess what? That one child or those children, what if they don't have it together like that? If I bring another building to this house and all this stuff right here, and you know what I'm saying, all this, now this bringing more turmoil because nobody wants to admit it. But the number one killer of all marriages is financial.
It's always been that.
It's financial. You know what I'm saying? You can survive a lot of shit, but if you ain't got no money in your pocket, game over.
Hey, you know the ratio was? I don't think they wanted an extra $400 in the household. That's the ratio of the total marriage, $400 that they couldn't come back in the household. But the thing about it, I get what y'all saying. It's not an obligation. I think different. Because that's just saying they weren't obligated to be our parents. But the thing about it is,
but they chose to have you.
I know what I'm saying. Yeah, they cranked that baby out of me. Good job. So the thing is,
I just know when they come to me, I had already told my parents. I had already told them if it's in my will, they won't go.
Right.
Now what my other
but you looking at your dad or not? I'm telling you for a fact. You looking at your dad or not? Put him in a home. I'm telling you now.
I'm gonna tell you something. You put me in a home, I'm gonna pee on the floor. I'm gonna fight everybody. I'm gonna walk around naked. I'm gonna take everybody to lunch. You think I'm lying? I'm gonna break out every day. Put me in the home you want to. They gonna kick me out.
I ain't gonna deal with that. But what I'm saying, I ain't gotta do nothing but come in there and fuss at you and be like, look here.
Right, don't do something on there. Right.
As soon as you do, you're like, Daddy, you peeing on me. Take me out.
Take that same diaper and sit it on your chest.
Well, look. One thing, but we about to wrap this up. And then one thing I can say, old director and preached two services. They one at church and one here. That man cleaned the Providence Hospital laundry room.
I apologize. I had to come straight from church here.
Hey, look, got me in a T-shirt. Next time you better give me a warning, so I can put on something neat. But now, about to wrap this thing up. Like I said, I think everybody got something out of this today. I've seen a lot of comments on the page. But like you said, is everybody choice in this situation? I know I had a different choice. I felt, I just didn't want my parents to go.
Right.
Not in some nursing home. Like I said, I agree with Empress over here. I've seen some I've seen some people at work that just didn't care. They just want a paycheck. You know, I heard him say, "Oh, what's called fried the bed." I want to get him up. I told him quit rolling, but the man is 80-something years old. Why didn't you put the rails up? He put it up himself. You know, that's the person that I just don't want to take care of my parents. You know, so the thing about it, some people got the mindsets where they just want a paycheck. They don't want to take care of your parent. To them, it's just another bill. It's just another day. It's just another hour. If they die, they die. They
See, everything is shooting dart, and I know households to be at home, and anybody will give any parent or whatever a fight within them when they sitting inside their own homes or their children's homes, where they can see their great grands or somebody scampering around and all this stuff right here, or see you walking through. That give them a peace that you can't have. And in the same aspect, the same ones that just trying to get a paycheck at them retirement homes could be the same ones that's coming to your house. Especially if you have to leave and you have to go to work and you have to do this, you have to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? We cannot generalize anybody. The black community have been generalized for doggone hundreds of years. Or they're thieves, they're no good, worthy, this and that, because we cannot do that with, you know what I'm saying, the medical staff, because no matter where you go, you're going to have some bad seeds.
Of course, I have
no matter where you,
you know what I'm saying?
No matter where you at. So we can't generally state that these people are just, all of them are just looking for paychecks, or all of them just doing that. No, you know what I'm saying? It's just like getting a good woman. If you get a good one, you got doggone head, buddy. Everything else fails in comparison.
Right.
But how many of them bad ones you had to take to get to them?
Right.
How many ones that you had to go? How many bad ones did you have to go through to learn what a good one is for you? Because God doggone, a good one for you might be a good one for me.
Absolutely.
So you have to learn. So you have to learn
what's
good for you.
Right.
Yeah, we got to put it on the podcast. We got to put it on the podcast.
Now I'm saying, if anything, evaluate the situation, see what's going to be good for you, see what support you have within it, because even when you do have home health to help, you still going to be in some part of it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And a major part of it.
I'm blessed to have my parents. My parents are still kind of young. They still work. It's, you know, they good, but I help take care of their parents.
Yeah, but your daddy old.
He said, "Oh,
My fingers defend me to walk. I hate that on TV.
I ain't gonna say he that old. I could probably still hit the club with him. I don't say I want to, but you know, I could probably still hit the club with him. But
sit him in the corner, give him a bill.
Even when it came to his parents,
Give me a rocket.
in my head, for me, because I love them so much, it wasn't an option.
It wasn't an option, right?
Like, I took care of them because I know, especially with my parents' divorce, they helped raise us. They helped take care of us. So to me, it was more of a appreciation. It was a love. It was
And that's what it takes.
Right.
It's like, it wasn't no way I was just gonna sit there and let just anything happen to you.
Right.
Like, no way.
Right.
That's whether it came to health people, or even if it came to family trying to come in there and use that situation, you was gonna hear from me. You got me.
Right.
You know,
And that's why I'm saying the same thing goes for them, no matter what they go through.
Yeah.
If don't nobody else have their back, I'ma have them.
Absolutely.
I agree with that 100%.
Absolutely.
And see, and that's just a blessing, and you know what I'm saying, and a blessing in grace. You know what I'm saying, to have someone that's eligible to do so. You understand me?
Right.
That's eligible to do so and do that. Like you said.
I mean, it's not saying that I wasn't working. I was working.
No, I'm
but
saying,
then at the same time, we also still
you was a
had
key element too.
Yeah, but
You was a key element because you had your dad on one side, you on one side, and the nurses on the other side. That's what that was a triangle of what doggone blessings when some people don't have that.
Well, it was also a mutual agreement because it ain't like I wasn't working and had my own things going on during these
But I
times.
made sure
they would make sure that I was taken care of.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like I want you to gamble this job and take care of me. They said, well, you ain't got much. I can take care of this while you doing this.
Right.
It was like a partnership.
Right.
Yeah, that was you do. Like I said, the great trifecta. Like I said, you put them all like this, y'all good. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have a plan. I don't know one man that plans to fail, but I do know a lot of them that fail to plan.
Absolutely.
And if you got a good structural balance, you know what I'm saying, to where y'all can do this right here, it makes the odds better in your account. But no matter what, how much you prepare or whatever, it's one thing you got to realize that's going to happen. That person is going to pass. But you can make them comfortable and feel at home and give them something to fight for.
Ease their mind. That's the way.
So you got to realize, nothing kills a person quicker than the mind.
Yep. God even said what a man thinketh, so is he. If your mind think you're going to die, your mind think you're going to be weak, your mind think you're going to be old, your mind think you're going to be lazy, that's what you're going to be.
And you know, so that, and see, like I said, and most of them, they know when it's going to happen, and if they come to peace and they know they've done all they can do and they left their family in a good standing that they can see they going to be all right, a lot of them ready, like, okay, I can go now. Hey, I didn't want to let you know, I love you, this and that, I ain't got much longer. And then you hear some other, like you said, great grandma tell you, hey, I ain't got much, but I'm tired.
Yeah.
I stuck around to make sure y'all was all right. That I can see that y'all all right. Even though y'all would take care of me, I was sticking around to make sure y'all was all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired and I'm ready to go home.
Yep. And I think that's one of the best ways as an elderly person say, I'm going. I want to make sure y'all are good before I leave.
Right.
Make sure they still being a parent to them.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you know, I agree with that, you know, and that's something to say. I remember my cousin in Cleveland, her mom planned her own funeral. So she said she wanted to have to worry about it because she knew she was going. So shout out to May them and, you know, Booby and all of them, Dinky, you know, and that ain't Dot. So I just wanted to say that part. But, you know, death is never easy. I don't care what people say, you know, it's according to how you accept it, how you accept the transition. But like I said, I agree with Hammer. You got to make them at least feel comfortable. That way their mind will go at ease when they do pass along. And, you know, like I said, me dealing with seeing both my parents' head on a block being the water drained out of it, that's, you know, but I had to do that to make sure they were getting dressed properly. I had to pick their suits out, their dresses. My mama dress, you know, to make sure they were going to go out comfortable. You know, I made sure my dad had a tool belt in his casket because he was a contractor. He hated flowers. He wanted to have the flowers up there. He had no flowers at the funeral, period. He hated flowers. The point, that's just showmanship for the crowd. So even the tool belt, people might have said, oh man, he gave him, but see, that's what he was. He was a contractor to his heart. So, you know, like I said, death is never easy. Getting old, we all got to go there. I don't care how young you are right now. Tell man, them old dude talking that stuff. Guess what? One day you're going to be on this side of the fence. They used to always tell me that, boy, you got to get old one day.
You better pray you get old.
That's right. They say you better hope you make it.
I tell folks
all the time.
Call me old, I'm going to tell you thank you.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what old stands for me. Old to me means outliving dummies.
Oh, preach up. Preach him.
There you go.
If I
turn that hammer so put some in that collection plate.
If the Lord see fit to let me get old, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then anybody, and one of the things to look at any time, if you were blessed to have your parents when they're in their twilight years or whatever, this and that, this is the time for you to talk to your parents and enlighten them and show them how much you really love them, how much you care, how much, and show them what they've taught you, what you've learned from them, and how blessed you was to have them as a doggone parent. Because you don't know how many people, don't know how many people in this world loses their parents and never got the chance to do so.
Absolutely.
Right. So if the Lord shows favor upon you to give you that doggone final talk to have with your parents, you need to take it.
Absolutely.
Because I was so telling my aunties and them when we went to Missouri for Christmas, this Christmas, I said, I'm looking at them. You always see them together, but it took that for me to realize that they weren't just watching us get old. I done watched you age too. Like I done seen you grow. I done seen different things change about you too. It's like it's a exchange. It's a real exchange, and I'm like, it's worth it. Absolutely. My personal opinion. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
Every second of it. So I really want y'all to know that I love y'all, and I'm grateful for everything y'all ever did for me. The upbringing, the raising, the taking care of me now. when I need some,
Take this $50 that's up on the table.
No, he ain't doing my
Now we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. I hope everybody got something out of it in your mind and your heart. Just we're gonna put the grill cover down, let the smoke go out, and all hearts are gonna be clear on this thing. But pray for someone that got something. Like I said again, if you got an elder out there, take care of them. Like you said, everybody do have different situations. I know some of them just can't do it. I've seen people like that, trust me. But the ones who just don't care, you need to reevaluate yourself. So, because that parent could have got rid of you, but they didn't. So, give some return back. I know you got to work, you got to do everything. Guess what? Don't go to that club, take care of that parent. You go to the club another week. So, because that person trying to get you to go there, they single. They parents still probably young and probably in the club with them. Yours not. So, again, like I said, thanks for the cast as well. Always bring it good, always bring it hard. We got a good one coming up next week. I would leak it, but I'm not. You're going to see it advertised. We're still, like I said, working on the website. We should have a phone this week so you can call in. You want to be a part of this podcast, go to the email, send in emails. Like I said, once we get the phone this week, we'll display the phone number. So we're steady growing, and it's thanks to you guys out there. Thanks for following, liking, and sharing. Facebook, IG, and YouTube. We're about to be on some more streaming channels. We're really working hard. Me and that lady over there behind the cameras, we lose a lot of sleep trying to get this thing to the top part. Cause
We'd like to thank y'all for that also.
Yes,
yeah,
And I'll be remiss if because I shouted out Kenny D's, I shouted out Dexter Jenkins, aka Diggum. I'll be remiss if I didn't say nothing about James Orr, because he's been a fighter for his whole family for many years I've known him. You know what I'm saying? Well over 20 plus years, and I didn't want to leave him out. So I like to, say every last one of y'all continue the good fight. Keep things going. Keep God first. And even if you can't see it, you can believe in one thing, God, because He does not lie. He cannot tell a lie.
cannot.
So keep up the good work. Keep up the good fight. And thank y'all.
Absolutely. So, as always, like I said, thank you for liking, sharing. Hammer just put a finishing nail in the coffin. No pun intended. But he been preaching today. He did 3 sermons. He did one at church, one in my front den, and one here at the podcast. That man, we got to put some money in this man collection plate. So the thing is, as always, like I said, we'll see you next Sunday. And like I said, continue to like, follow, and share. YouTube, IG, Facebook, and we have some more streamers coming. But when the spatch goes down, y'all know what it is. Podcast is over. All things can't stay much longer.